For a business all about getting something that's outside, inside, this is how Camgrain is seen, from the outside in.
Camgrain is a perfect example of where farmers are looking to the future and organising themselves for the future. Going from believing this was all just about storage to thinking, well, actually this is about how I can add value to my grain.
Adding value through getting the right market and then doing it professionally so that you always maximise that value. What's happened over the last 5 years is relationships developed with our customers have really been enhanced by working alongside Camgrain, because we've been able to differentiate the product that's coming out of the store from everything else that we market.
We can go to a retailer or go to any customer with a unified voice.
And that is a whole mind shift. Camgrain have led the way over the last 5 years in that sort of thinking.
For its customers, there's peace of mind in Camgrain's scale of operation.
One of the benefits we have found with working closely with Camgrain is the vendor assurance. In the last 3 years, we actually haven't had one load rejected. We know it's coming through Camgrain, we know therefore we can trust what it says on the tin.
Delivery of top quality product to the end consumer is absolutely critical. And it's not just top quality when we want it, it's top quality at all times when the consumer wants it. So it's about building real professionalism right across the chain.
Camgrain has grown significantly over the last few years, particularly the development of the APC. Now, it's been of fundamental importance for us to establish a different type of relationship with customers. Without scale, you cannot make a difference in the supply chain. With scale, you can.
The Advanced Processing Centre, which significantly enhanced Camgrain's overall capacity, was officially opened in July 2009.
Put your money where your mouth is time, really, isn't it? It must be very exciting for the Camgrain members and for Camgrain stores to see the vision actually coming together with tangible assets that are going to be standing there for the next 30, 50 years plus.
It is a fact that most of the storage in this country is desperately out of date. A lot of it built in the 80s. It is not really fit for purpose now. We're supplying the food industry. We need to up our game to actually be able to look them in the eye and deal properly with them.
Rather than being commodity which is being traded on the back of a lorry.
Camgrain's game has seen it become the exclusive supplier of the wheat milled for Sainsbury's in-store bakeries.
We were buying a mix of flour, some of that was Canadian, and we were generally buying it, if you like, in the open market. And a real consistent supply coming through from Camgrain means that we are able to stay 100% British through the whole of the 365 days of the year, which was something we couldn't do before.
Camgrain was even the poster child of this Sainsbury's conference for producers.
A farmer-controlled business producing grain to the highest standard anywhere in the world, direct through the miller and direct into Sainsbury's stores. These are the initiatives that allow producers to confidently develop their businesses for the future.
All the kind words that have been said about Camgrain are highly justified. There was one bit that's been missed out, which is, of course, that it is located in the best part of the country, represented by the very best Member of Parliament in the country, me. And I'm very proud to have Camgrain in my patch.
Soon, Camgrain's new facility in Cambridgeshire will be matched by one in Northamptonshire.
Kettering is a really important next step. Kettering is in the heartland of a lot of consumption, around about 1 million tonnes. And that will actually change the relationship with those consumers on a scale that's not been seen before.
And with the merger of arable crop storage into Camgrain, planning approval has been secured at ACS for upgrade and expansion to create a further advanced processing centre for growers across Stratford and the Cotswolds. Camgrain's influence has extended far beyond its own business.
They've been a critical part of setting up Network Grain, the organisation that pulls similar grain stores together from around the country. You might think that they would have said, well, no, we're the biggest grain store in the UK, probably the biggest in Europe now, we've gone far enough. But no, they're ambitious. Things like the Sainsbury's deal they've ended up with, that didn't come from nowhere. That came because they had ambition and they got support from a committed group of farmers.
So for anyone thinking about joining that group, what are they deciding about the way their grain is stored and marketed?
The most important thing for them ought to be the ability to capture more value out of the market. They're in business, that's what they should be trying to do.
And part of that also is understanding the accounting implications of grain storage. Tax relief, once afforded by the Agricultural Buildings Allowance, has just ended.
The plant and machinery tax relief and integral features tax relief is also diminishing. So in the decision whether to go for central storage or on farm, there is more tax relief available in central storage over several years, admittedly, but it's still available, whereas on farm storage there's hardly any tax relief.
Central storage also means tenant farmers aren't ploughing money into their landlord's farm. And again, it's a great way to capture value through the vendor assured program Camgrain operates.
If you do put a facility or a store on your farm, you need to be keeping it up to date, basically. But by buying into central storage, you're buying into the concept of processing and storage, which is kept up to date automatically.
And so it would seem Camgrain's spectacular growth in recent years might well be set to continue.
A prospective member should visit the site, see the business, talk to the staff. Anybody looking at that business cannot fail to be impressed by the way that that business is managed and run.
As ever, it's not the right thing for everybody. It depends on where your farm is and what your farm business model is. But for an increasing number of farmers, as kit gets bigger, as farms get bigger, and as the demands of customers get greater, this will form a really good solution for them.